Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome to the Crystal Witch Oracle Tarot channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. Thank you so much for all of your support. It means the world to me. I really appreciate all of your likes, your comments, your subscribes, everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am very, very grateful to have you here and having you support me do something that I love. So thank you for your wonderful presence. And this is another beautiful week that we have coming up. You know, August has been a really wild ride. I'm just going to move this incense. Sorry, it's going a bit crazy. August has been a really wild month in terms of the astrology that we're having. You've probably been seeing it. You've probably been feeling the effects. I know that a lot of people have been having a lot of physical symptoms with the energy that we have right now. And I just wanted to encourage you as well, if you are one of those people that's going through it, just keep going. We're almost out of the woods. It's going to get better. This is just the clearing out. You know, I'm already feeling much better this week. Last week, Mercury retrograde had me good. I could barely speak on last week's reading, and I'm feeling a lot more clear-headed and a lot more just centered and focused this week. So today we have the Aquarius supermoon, which is really exciting because this is one of the biggest and brightest moons that we will be having this year. And, you know, I love Aquarius energy. We are moving into the age of Aquarius, so we will definitely be seeing a lot more of this kind of energy, but it's a very fun, independent, quirky, sort of, you know, just I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I'm going to do what feels good for me and feels right for me, but with love for the community. So it's that really nice balance between the individual and the collective energy, and how to exist as an individual within the collective, which I really, really love and I really resonate with. I have my North Node in Aquarius, so I love all the beautiful qualities that Aquarius has. So we will be seeing a lot of that kind of energy coming through within the next week. And as usual, full moons are all about release. So this is a really, really great time to let go of any, maybe shame that you carry around your own unique individuality, your own unique expression, the way that you show up in the world. It's a wonderful time to do some, gentle release ceremonies. Burning ceremonies are especially beneficial for full moon rituals. But just generally sitting with anything that you want to get rid of, just really thinking about releasing that and then actively kind of letting go of that energy. And hopefully the full moon will help you to clear out that energy more effectively. And then we are almost at the end of Leo season. We'll be officially moving into Virgo season. It's my birthday this week on Friday, so I'm really, really excited about that. And, we're moving out of the Leo energies into a more Virgo-esque energy. So we will be starting to contemplate things like our health, our routines, the nitty-gritty details of things, but we are still in that Mercury retrograde up until the 27th. So now's a good time to think about these kinds of detail-oriented things, but maybe not necessarily implement them. So I would recommend waiting a little bit. And today we will be reading from the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrin Weltz-Stein. Then we have the Smith Rider-Waite deck over here for our tarot deck today. And then we have a Crazy Sexy Love Notes by Chris Carr to finish off the reading. So let me get started with our the Oracle of Mystical Moments. She does have a tarot deck as well, and both are equally beautiful. So let us see what Spirit would like for us to know about this week. Just to open up the reading, I would like to pull an Oracle card for us. Wonderful. So we have To the Moon and Back. Isn't that just fitting for our beautiful full moon that we have right today as this reading is being released on the 19th. So as we can see, we have this beautiful woman with a feathered dress. It looks like it's almost as though she herself is part bird. And then she also has two birds with her. And she's kind of thinking, looks like she's wistfully dreaming about, maybe, I'm assuming it's going to be the future because it looks like she's looking ahead of her. But to the moon and back can also be a reference to, love or connection with somebody else. People always say, I love you to the moon and back. So there could be that element as well. Could be daydreaming about a special connection that you might have. Could be a friend or, a romantic partnership. But also just maybe embodying that little bit of freedom that birds have, because this person, as I said, is wearing this beautiful, looks like a feather, like a bird wing skirt. So maybe half wanting freedom and half wanting a little bit more stability. So let's see what the book says, since I don't know these cards 100% just yet, every individual meaning. So I'm going to read from the guidebook. And it says, desires, wishes, and longings. Look at this woman sitting on a swing shaped like the moon. She gazes longingly into the distance, as if she would like to be somewhere else. Although her skirt is made of feathers, she stays seated and does not fly away. This card speaks about strong desires. Sometimes we crave what we don't have. Instead of taking action, we remain passive and let our dreams fall unknown. Let the powerful magic of the moon reveal any unpredictable desires. Wow, that's really, what a beautiful card to, as I said, get on this Aquarius supermoon that we are experiencing. So where in your life are you having desires, dreams, wishes, things that you would like to pursue, but you feel as if you can't? It almost feels to me like, Two of Swords type of energy, or Eight of Swords kind of energy, both being self-imposed sort of restrictions or, imprisonment for oneself, when you actually have the tools, but you feel like you don't, or that you have convinced yourself that you're not capable of something. So that could be something nice to consider for this full moon, as a practice. What is it that you kind of feel like you are holding yourself back from? Well, let's get some tarot cards and see what the tarot would like us to know about this week. So I can definitely relate with the moon. Here we've got our first cards coming out here. We've got the Four of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Devil in the upright position. Thank you, Spirit. So as I was saying, I can relate to this card sometimes with, feeling like you don't have the tools, but you actually do, and, doubting yourself. And then often, I feel like when I've looked back on something in my life and gone like, wow, I actually had everything that I needed. I knew I had the capabilities and the skills to be able to achieve that thing that I was so hoping for, but I never did. I never went for it. And it would kind of feel a lot like, big regret. And I'm reminded of, how people, when they are on their deathbeds, often that is the one thing that they say, is that they regret the chances that they didn't take and not the chances or the things that they actually did do. So that could be something, worth noting. So let's start here with the Four of Cups in reverse. So you could be feeling as though, nothing is happening for you. You are not, seeing your blessings. The universe is offering you your gifts and your sort of, opportunities, but you might not be seeing them right now. And that can feel very much like, I suppose, this energy of dreaming about something, but feeling like you don't actually have the tools that you need in order to actually achieve that thing. And the universe is saying to you, you need to open your eyes. You actually do have everything available to you right now, but you might not be seeing it. You might need to just really spend a little bit more time actually thinking objectively about your situation and about, the things that are being offered to you in your current reality. And you might see that actually there are other alternatives that you hadn't considered before. Maybe help is being offered to you from an angle that you weren't quite willing to witness before. Sometimes we can be quite stubborn when we aren't really used to receiving. If we're struggling with receiving, if we're people who just like to give, when we're offered something, when we're offered a golden cup, it's hard for us to even acknowledge that the golden cup is being offered to us because it doesn't feel right, because we're so used to giving away everything. And I mean, we even have this 7 of Cups in reverse here. Again, we see a similar sort of theme. We are being offered so many opportunities. There's so many things that are coming our way. But because this card is in reverse, it gives me the sense of feeling that maybe we're just not seeing it clearly. And even with this Ace of Wands in reverse, it's the same thing. It's like the universe is saying, hey, I am here. I am offering you an opportunity. I'm offering you your passions. I'm offering you something brand new. But you're just not seeing it. It's like you are not realizing that you actually have what it takes. You literally, you're half bird. You could fly away at any moment. Why are you allowing yourself to stay stuck in this same sort of, maybe it's self-limitations? And I feel like this is definitely coming through with the Devil card, because this is literally the only card in this reading for the tarot component that is in the upright position. So this tells me that there is this sense of restriction right now. There's this feeling that the situation that you're currently finding yourself in is not one that you can easily manage to get out of. So what is it that you are not allowing yourself to see clearly? Because you already have everything that you need, and the universe is trying to get your attention desperately to say, you have the skills. These are the things that you can do. These are the opportunities that you can take. And, that life is always going to offer us a mixture of opportunities. So there's always going to be things that maybe look very pleasant, but they're not so pleasant. Or maybe they look like outright traps, but they actually end up being blessings in disguise. But we can be so scared to even try, because sometimes we don't think that we're deserving, or we don't feel like we're actually being offered anything, but it's because we're refusing to see clearly, And that's something that I think we've all been guilty of time to time, is allowing ourselves to really get sucked in by this devil energy of saying to ourselves that, well, it's always been like this. This feels for me like, limiting beliefs, childhood programming, all of those kinds of things that really help to keep us so stuck, instead of being able to see the blessings and the opportunities that are right in front of us, So this could also be a relationship. You could feel as though this is a partnership that has been really draining you. Maybe you feel stuck in this partnership. Maybe you feel like you can't move on for whatever reason. And maybe you're starting to get the sense that you are a little bit stuck. And again, it's the case of you can actually get out of this, and you might love this person to the moon and back, but it's just not the right opportunity or the right relationship for you. And you can feel that you need to move on, and you have the ability to move on, but for some reason you are still holding yourself back. And it can be so difficult, especially when it's a relationship that was born in passion. Looking at this, and there's always a joke in the tarot community that the Knight of Wands is the fuckboy energy. That whole sense of, it's somebody who comes in really hot and passionate and quick, but then kind of leaves out the back door in the middle of the night. So you could have maybe fallen really deeply in love with this person, or even this idea, or this sort of more of an abstract concept of like a belief that you're holding as well, that felt like it was something that was going to fire you up, but it just never actually went anywhere. And now you're feeling stuck. Maybe you put all your eggs in one basket as well. Maybe it was an opportunity that you felt like, I'm going to put everything that I possibly can into the situation, and you allowed it to drag you down so far that now you feel completely trapped by it. And even though you're being offered other opportunities, you have maybe a strange sense of loyalty to this negative situation. And, I can definitely say that I've been there. I've stayed in a lot of situations for a lot longer than I should have. And it was out of fear. It was definitely out of a sense of, well, this feels more comfortable, even though it's really painful for me. I still feel more comfortable in this situation than if I were to embrace the unknown. If I were to really try something a little bit different, we've got, this is like literally the hand of God coming down and saying, I want to offer you this thing. And I have your best interests in mind. Your best blessings are right here. What I'm offering you, new opportunities, new love, new work, new concepts of self, all of those kinds of things. But we have fear that's coming through here. That's just like, well, what happens if I leave this space? What happens if I really truly walk away from this thing that, even though I feel so trapped in this, it's still comfortable? I'd rather be on fire than to go into something unknown, to make the wrong choice, to feel like I made a mistake again. And I understand that 100%, but again, the universe is offering you this directly. This is literally coming from spirit. These are both, these cards are both showing this invisible hand, or this visible hand, I guess, coming from an invisible space, coming straight out of the ether with an offering and saying, hey, okay, well, I know things aren't great right now, but what about this thing? What about taking this opportunity? There's so much to be gained from this. If we're looking at this beautiful, fertile land, both of these places, there's this beautiful, lush green grass, there's opportunity, there's growth. There's a direct connection that spirit is offering you from the divine. I'm just looking at this, both of these rods coming through. This is coming straight from spirit. I think I've said that enough now, but it's just about actually being able to really see and observe what it is that is being offered to you, instead of trying to maintain this space where it's comfortable. Yes, it feels safe in some weird way, but it's not. It's actually literally burning you up. You are being used to the point where, you're not going to be able to recover if you don't make a urgent change, And that reminds me of what, like Stockholm syndrome, where people get kidnapped and then they actually fall in love with and start to side with their captors, because they've been in that situation for so long that even though it's such a painful, traumatic experience, it becomes the reality that they are most comfortable with, because they actually can't picture anything else anymore. But that doesn't mean that they should stay, right? Obviously, anybody else looking in from the outside can go, well, that person's abusing you and taking advantage of you and manipulating you. But, the brain finds ways to survive. So it's not about beating yourself up about these things. It's just about being like, okay, well, let's take an objective look. There's this really cool exercise that I read about a little while ago, and I can't remember exactly who it was that came up with this concept, but I just found it really, really helpful. And basically they said that what you should do is, if ever you're trying to make a change in your life, or you're dealing with a tough situation and you're not sure what to do, is to kind of zoom out of your life as if you like picture a TV show, for example, where they kind of zoom out of the picture and you can kind of see the characters down there, and viewing them as if from like a bird's eye view, right? So zoom out of your own life and look at yourself as if you are somebody completely separate from yourself, like just a normal person, not you with all your self-concepts and all your baggage and all your programming and all that stuff, just an individual independent person, say now a friend. And then look at your situation, watch yourself, observe yourself going through whatever it is that you're currently going through, and as this independent watcher, give yourself advice or witness the kind of judgments that come up from the situation that you are watching play out in your life, because that will give you so much insight into, number one, how you really feel about the situation, and B, different approaches. Because, you know, often it's that thing of when we can't see the wood for the trees, because there's literally we're too close. We can't separate ourselves from all the emotions, all the feelings, all the programming, all the stuff that we've gotten wrapped up in, you know, all of this type of devil energy that we're sitting with. We literally cannot see the opportunities that are right in front of us, the people that are right in front of us, the joy that is waiting to be had by us, you know, the positive, beautiful experiences that are wanting to come forth. So this week, really think about that, you know, try and pull yourself back from that opportunity, or pull back from that situation that you currently find yourself in, and really try to objectively view your situation. So where are you feeling stuck? Where are you allowing your negative patterns, behaviors, relationships, addictions, any of those kinds of things to hold you back? And it can be super subtle, right? It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be like, maybe you have a little bit of lack of self-worth. Maybe you don't think that the opportunities that are being presented to you are worthwhile. Maybe you don't see your own abilities. You know, maybe you are like this person here, not recognizing that they aren't actually stuck in the situation, and that they actually have a lot more of the tools in order to get out of this current situation and move on to find something better. They just haven't noticed it yet. And, you know, growth can sometimes be like that. Like, we're not always going to see how much we've changed and how far we've come up until the point where we put our new skills to the test. You know, it makes me think of, for example, if you are somebody who has been single for a long time and you haven't wanted to date because you wanted to work on yourself, but now you don't date at all because you feel more comfortable single, but you secretly want a relationship, but you're afraid and you don't know if you are going to actually be able to have a healthy relationship. But the only way to know whether or not those skills that you've learned over time that you've been single are actually worth anything up until the point that you get into a relationship and you actually test them out. You know, that's the only way you'll be able to gauge your growth and your progress, is to actually make the thing happen, right? Have the relationship, go on the date, start talking to people, start having those kinds of experiences, and then you'll be able to see, okay, that thing that used to trigger me, you know, in all my previous relationships doesn't trigger me anymore. Then you can say, wow, okay, I have definitely grown. But in order for that to happen, you have to accept the energies that are coming in. If there's people coming into your life, of course, watch out for, you know, any kind of, I want to say, manipulative tactics by anybody that comes in like hot and heavy and too passionate. Also off the bat, be careful. But if the universe is offering you something, you know, take your time, objectively identify, what is this opportunity actually looking like? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? If you're not sure, definitely speak to somebody that you love and trust, and they can maybe help you to give a more objective view. As I mentioned, you know, try the zooming out and seeing what would you say to yourself if you were just a random person and you were giving yourself advice, instead of, you know, having that come from your own space of trying to make a decision, just an independent party, what would you say? And then go from there. You know, there's so many beautiful things coming in here for you, and I'm so excited. And I think that, you know, there's going to be so much growth and pride to be had through this experience when you actually start moving towards these positive opportunities and seeing, wow, okay, I actually am in a far better position than, you know, than I thought that I was. So let's pull a card from this deck. I'll create these sexy love notes. This is such a happy deck. So, okay, great. We have listen. Who do you need to listen to? Do you need to listen to yourself? Do you need to listen to spirit? Are you getting intuitive messages? Are you getting messages in the form of, you know, friends coming to you and saying, hey, you know, I'm witnessing this experience that you're going through and I'm wanting to give you some advice. You know, let's see, there's a little elephant here. Maybe you need to listen to your partner, listen to, you know, like I said, a trusted coworker, something like that. Or it could just be your own inner whisperings. You know, what is your soul telling you? What is your higher self telling you? What is the universe trying to communicate to you? Are you listening? Are you creating the space for the universe to actually come in and, you know, give you that insight and that knowledge that you are so desperately seeking? So on the back of the card, it says, are you talking more than you're listening? Do you finish people's sentences for them? Shh. True connection is about how we make people feel and whether or not we're being open and present. Life is communicating with you, dear one. Here we go. That's what we were saying. An important message is trying to get through. Let go of your fear of not being heard. You'll get your chance to listen. Oh, you'll get your chance. For now, just listen. Isn't that just a perfect message to go along with whatever else we've seen on this reading so far? About definitely there is something wanting to come through for you. There is such a strong message that's trying to make its way to you. So if you have any kind of fear of not being heard, I know that's tricky, but when it comes to yourself, just remember that in order to be heard, you also need to be willing to listen. Because if you're somebody who's not willing to listen to yourself, that is what will be reflected back to you, right? So all of our relationships and the people that we have in our life are mirrors for us. So if you feel like you are not being heard, it's probably because you are not hearing yourself. You might not be listening to your own messages. So maybe you do get intuitive messages and you kind of brush them off, or, you know, maybe there's signs and synchronicities that are trying to come through and you just keep chalking them up to coincidence, right? So I would recommend, if that is something that you're experiencing right now, keep a diary of everything that you see. So any angel numbers that are coming through, any, you know, songs on the radio that make you sit up and listen, any phrases or innocent little things that people say to you that kind of make you perk up a little bit, just write it down in your diary and see if you start to find a pattern within there, because that is likely Spirit's way of trying to communicate with you. So I am wishing you a beautiful week. I hope that you will be able to open yourself up to receiving these beautiful messages that are trying to find you, and the beautiful opportunities that Spirit is sending your way, and that you can break free from these invisible and you know, binding things that are just simply holding you back, that don't need to be. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love. If you like this comment, please, or if you like this video, please feel free to comment down below. I love hearing from you. Love to hear about, you know, what resonated with you, what your situation is. If a message comes through, I'd love to hear about it as well. Is there anything that you feel like you're not sure about right now, that you don't know how to evaluate for yourself. Share it with us in the comments if you're willing. It'd be really, really nice to hear about what is happening with you. And I'm wishing you the most beautiful week. Please look after yourself, and I will see you next week.